boys and girls. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of Trigger Warning Radio. I am your host, the Kaiju Conservative, and I hope all you deplorables out there had yourselves a very Merry Christmas. I hope Santa was extremely generous to you, brought you everything that's on your Christmas list. For you liberals out there, I hope Santa was extremely generous to you as well. But I hope he brought you a big-ass lump of coal and signed it care of Donald Trump's coal-friendly energy policies. There's a lot that I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, if you haven't heard the news, Doug Jones is now officially the new senator of Alabama. The Alabama State Department certified the results of his election earlier today, despite the lawsuit brought by challenger Roy Moore alleging massive voter fraud. And liberals have been over the moon celebrating that today, ladies and gentlemen. They've been tweeting about it all, and they've been plugging up all the tubes on social media, talking about how great it is that Doug Jones won in a deeply red state. They're also, however, lamenting the fact that Roy Moore still has not conceded the results of the election. He's just hasn't done it yet, and this is a very bad thing for liberals, ladies and gentlemen. It's undermining our democracy. It's a direct threat to our institutions and our deeply held beliefs. And why can't Roy Moore concede just like Hillary Clinton did? Except she really hasn't. I mean, yeah, she officially conceded the results of the election back in 2016, but she's spent literally the last year since then lamenting the fact that Russia helped elect Donald Trump, that they colluded to influence our election, that the election wasn't free and fair as it usually is, and basically stating that the election needs to be challenged, but we really don't have any avenues to challenge an election that's been interfered with. The liberals, as a whole, you'll know, they've been screaming for the last year about how we need to resist the Trump agenda because Trump is literally Hitler, and people are dying and losing their rights under Donald Trump. And oh my God. It's just it's hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. It's just one more example of how hypocritical liberals are. I mean, yeah, Republicans they need to concede the results of the election whenever they lose. But when Democrats lose, no. It's lawsuit after lawsuit, recount after recount, and it's protests and pussy hats. And it's absolute insanity, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Alabama, did you guys enjoy the Alabama election? Did you wake up every day and gather around the breakfast table or the water cooler at work and think to yourself, my God, I can't wait to see what new sexual assault allegations are going to be dredged up from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago against Roy Moore? No, you didn't? You hated it? You thought it was an absolute shit show like I did? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because that's going to happen all over again in 2018. Yeah, Democrats have finally hit on a winning formula, ladies and gentlemen, and that is simply to accuse the Republican of sexual assault and make him seem icky enough so that people just vote for the Democrat instead. Or so that, let the GOP establishment run a third-party candidate and take votes away from the Republican. Either one. Either one's going to work. And this is something that's going to be seen, I will predict, it's going to be seen in almost every single election in 2018. I mean, they have to do this because there's literally nothing that the Democrats have to run on. There's no policies that they've put forward. I mean, yeah, they had their big reset button, the slogan that they stole from Papa John's, better deal, better pizza, whatever the hell it was. That hasn't worked for shit. And now you've got Trump's tax cuts that are going to start taking effect next year, and people are going to be looking at their paychecks going up because of Trump, and they're going to be thinking to themselves, well, why the hell should I vote Democrat? What's the point? What am I going to get out of it? And Democrats, for their part, they don't have an answer to that question. I mean, you look at them attacking the tax cut bill, for example. Bernie Sanders was attacking the tax cut bill on one of the Sunday shows recently, and he was forced to admit that, yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to benefit from this, which is bad. I guess there's really there's no reason to vote Democrat, and this is why, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody tells me that the Democrats are going to win next year, I scratch my head, because there's no reason for anybody to vote Democrat, or no coherent reason, at least. I mean, yeah, you've got hatred of Donald Trump, but that only gets you so far. I mean, that's only going to energize the base, and Donald Trump's approval ratings have been going up, so that's not going to work coming into 2018. You have to have a reason for the people to vote for you, ladies and gentlemen. And Democrats, they don't have it. So what they're going to do is they're just going to go ahead and ride this Me Too bandwagon and drive it into the fucking ground and just accuse every Republican out there of sexual assault. That's why I think we're seeing this big purge of sexual abusers and harassers on the Democrat side. So that's why we had Al Franken resign. That's why we had John Conyers retire, because the Democrats want to clear the way to be able to accuse these people of sexual harassment. They want to be able to say, well, look, yeah, we had a problem, but we got rid of them all. Republicans haven't done that. So we're going to see a lot more of this, ladies and gentlemen, and buckle up, because it is going to be one hell of a ride. Is it going to work? Probably not. Probably not. It'll work in some instances. I mean, there's going to be some voters that are dumb, just like in Alabama, and will refuse to vote for a Republican no matter how flimsy the accusations against him are. But I think for the most part, it's not going to work. And yeah, we're probably going to see Republicans lose a couple of seats in the House, maybe in the Senate. I mean, you know, it's just the natural cycle of politics. The party in power loses a little bit in the midterm elections, and after they've won the White House. And I think we are going to see a little bit of that. But I think for the most part, Republicans are going to hold on to their seats, might even pick up some seats. I don't know. I was wrong about Roy Moore. I was very wrong about Roy Moore. So I might be wrong about this. I don't think I am, though. If I am, let me know in the comment section. Tell me what you think. But I think I'm dead right on this. Hey, speaking of reasons to vote Democrat, or, you know, a lack of reasons to vote Democrat, the Washington Examiner, they put together an article that lists Trump's accomplishments for 2017, for his first year in office. There's 81 different accomplishments that they list, and I'm gonna go through a couple of them for you here. I'm also gonna do a video series on Donald Trump's accomplishments as well. So it's going to be a multi-part series, so look for that in the coming weeks. I'm going to be doing that probably right up until January 20th of 2018, as kind of a little celebration of Trump's first full year in office. But you know, a couple of the things that the Washington Examiner lists, you know, they break it down by category. They've got jobs in the economy, they've got killing regulations, fair trade, boosting energy dominance, protecting the homeland, communities, accountability, opioids, protecting life, veterans, peace through strength, you know, national security, all this stuff. But I'm just going to hit a couple of the points. You know, under jobs in the economy, of course, the big one is we've got that tax reform bill that just passed, which is a major legislative accomplishment that I think is going to put the Republicans in a fantastic position in 2018, and it's going to put the Democrats in a horrible position in 2018. That's listed as the number one accomplishment. Of course, we have the GDP has grown to above 3%, and the Federal Reserve is, of course, predicting that we might see GDP above 4% soon, which if you'll remember, under Obama, we were told that 1 to 2% is the new normal. In fact, we were told that we'll never get above 2% again. So, we should just accept a crappy economy. How'd that work out for you guys? We also saw 1.7 million new jobs. The unemployment rate has been cut to 4.1%, which is I believe it's an 11-year low. Again, a lot of these jobs are jobs that we were told are never coming back. The manufacturing sector, by the way, is undergoing a boom right now, and we were told those manufacturing jobs, they're going to stay overseas. Those aren't coming back at all. Then we have economic confidence, which is a big one. 17-year high. People are feeling good about the economy again. When people feel good, they're going to spend more. When they spend more, companies do better. Companies make more profit. When companies make more profit, they're able to pass that on to their employees in terms of bonuses and higher pay and more benefits. They're able to pass that on to the consumer in terms of lower prices. So that right there is a big thing that I think we haven't seen the total effects of yet. A couple of other things that Trump has done. We withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, which even the left has admitted that it's basically just to soak the rich. Wealth redistribution schemes, and it wouldn't even have any measurable effect on the economy at all. We've got that executive order that Trump signed very early on in his presidency that says 2 regulations have to be cut for every new one that's created. He's beat that by far, and 16 rules and regulations are being cut per every new regulation, which has led to saving $8.1 billion. It doesn't sound like a whole lot in that case, but, it adds up. Every little bit adds up. And again, this is something that we're not going to see the full impact of until towards the end of Trump's first term, beginning of his second term. Yes, I said it. A couple of other things that Trump has done. ISIS is all but defeated in the Middle East. They've lost 98% of their territory. They've lost most of their fighters. They've either been killed, captured, or they've just deserted. Yeah, ISIS is still a big problem. Yeah, they're still committing terror attacks both here and abroad. But in terms of actually controlling territory and being a force to be reckoned with, like they were under the Obama administration, it's not there anymore. Couple of other things, accountability. Trump's nominated 73 federal judges. They've gotten 15 of those appointments through. I talked about this, last week on the show, how he's essentially remaking the judiciary. There's a ban on lobbying now, which is pretty huge. And that lobbying ban is essentially, once you leave the administration, you can't go be a lobbyist, which is a big part of draining the swamp. Protecting life. He's overturned an Obama regulation that blocks states from defunding abortion providers. He's blocked Obamacare money from supporting abortion, helping veterans. He's signed a whole host of different acts that have benefited the veterans, the VA, and helped out veterans, including the Veterans Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act, which essentially allows the Department of Veterans Affairs to fire employees that are failing, unlike being with the Obama administration where they were just being shuffled around or promoted in some cases. Peace through strength. Again, I mentioned ISIS before, but he's actually told his military leaders to seize the initiative and win. And he's letting the military do their jobs, essentially, is what they're doing. And then, we've just, his foreign policy in general has just been phenomenal. I mean, recently, Trump finally enacted the policy that recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital, which, by the way, was voted on in the Clinton administration, and just no president has ever done it. But his Asia trip is 12 days. It was phenomenal, and he attended 3 different regional summits. He's built new relationships with leaders all across the world, and it's his first year has been a lot better than the Democrats and the media want you to believe. We're in better shape. The economy's doing better. Foreign policy is doing better. We're safer abroad, aside from, the absolute insanity that is North Korea. We're working towards being safer as a nation. And I'm going to go ahead and link this Examiner article in the comment section so you can actually read it yourself. But I suggest, share the article around. When I do those videos, share those videos around to all your friends who say, well, Trump really hasn't done a whole lot. He has done a phenomenal amount. It hasn't gotten reported on in the mainstream media. The Democrats have suppressed that knowledge, and that is partly why Donald Trump's approval rating isn't in the high 50s, low 60s, because that news is being suppressed. And I think once people start to feel the effects of his policies in the real world, in their daily lives, we're going to see Trump's approval rating rise a lot higher, and I think we're definitely going to see Trump win in 2020. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that point in the show where it is time for us to pay some fake bills with some fake words from our fake sponsors. When we come back, I'm going to talk about Robert Mueller and why Trump hasn't fired him, or at least why I think Trump hasn't fired him. And we'll also talk about Kathy Griffin and and what she's up to. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Hey guys, let me ask you a question. What is the one thing that you will need to sustain yourself when the global economy collapses, the country goes to shit, and it's nothing but bronies roaming around in post-apocalyptic battle gear, searching for that one pony that will finally complete their collection? Is it food? Is it guns? Is it ammo? Is it alcohol? Is it cigarettes? No, you idiot. It is gold. Gold is the one thing that has sustained humanity throughout existence. It's the one thing that's never lost its value. I mean, sure, you can't eat it. Sure, you can't fire it out of a weapon. But you know what you can do? You can take any gold bars or coins that you've got, you can stick that shit in a tube sock, and you can smack the hell out of anybody that does have all that stuff and take it from them. And you know where the best place to get your gold is? Goldline. That's right. Go to Goldline. They've got all sorts of gold. They've got bars. They've got coins. They've got all sorts of other crap. Whatever you want, they can get it for you at a reasonable price, and they might ship it to you. I don't know. Maybe you can fucking ask them about it. I mean, what the hell do I know? You think I actually visit their site? No. But go to Goldline, buy your gold there, and when the economy collapses, you can sit on top of a golden throne and laugh hysterically at all of the peasants that are just scraping to try and find a rat to eat. Once again, Goldline, I think. Whatever. Go there, tell them the Kaiju Conservative sent you. You will absolutely receive 0% off your order. I guarantee it. Hey guys, welcome back. Robert Mueller, the thorn in the side of the Trump administration, the one who's supposedly investigating Russian collusion into the 2016 election, but instead is investigating everything else under the sun. A lot of people are pissed off with Robert Mueller and his investigation, especially on the right. And the main reason for that is because we've seen just how horribly biased against the Trump administration his entire team is. I mean, you've got Hillary apparatchiks galore within his team. You've got people exchanging anti-Trump text messages, and of course, we're all supposed to believe that that Robert Mueller and his team are above reproach, that they are the Elliot Ness to Trump's Al Capone. They are the untouchables, and no matter what biases they have, they're not going to let that interfere with their work. Bullshit is all I have to say. With what we've seen, with what's come out about the investigation, there's no way that it's a fair and balanced investigation. There's absolutely no fucking way that anybody with that deep level of bias, when you're exchanging anti-Trump messages with your mistress, there's no way that you can overcome that level of bias and be expected to do your job in a fair and just manner. So that begs the question, why hasn't Trump fired Robert Mueller yet? Or why hasn't he ordered the Justice Department to fire Robert Mueller? Well, reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's because Trump is playing the long game here. I'm not implying that he and Bob Mueller are working together like some people have implied, and that this whole investigation is a 4D chess gambit to expose the lies and crimes of Hillary and the Obama administration. I'm not suggesting that at all. That's fucking stupid. What I am suggesting, though, is that Trump is reading the situation. He's a businessman, so he's looking at the pros, he's looking at the cons, he's looking at all sides. You don't get to be where Trump is, a billionaire leader of the free world, by being stupid and going off half-cocked. So what I think he's looking at all of this stuff that's coming out. He's looking at how Congress before was all for this investigation. They were telling us that Robert Mueller, is an honorable man. He served under the Bush administration, so he's got to be good, right? Well, now Congress is calling for his investigation. A lot of representatives and senators are actually calling on him to be fired. And a big thing that's come out recently is Bob Mueller's investigation in general. Its approval rating is extremely low right now. It was at 28%, but now it's slipped to 24%. So 24% of Americans view the investigation in a favorable manner. That's 76% of Americans that either have no opinion or view it in an unfavorable manner, ladies and gentlemen. So that I'm going to counter that question of why hasn't Trump fired Robert Mueller yet with why should he fire him? What's the point? Why is that necessary? If you fire Robert Mueller, there's a couple of things that could happen. Best case scenario is it just goes away after a couple of months of bitching and moaning from the left. Of course, we all know that American politics does not operate on best case scenario. Worst case scenario is it actually galvanizes the left. It energizes the base because obstruction of justice or whatever stupid dumbass reason they want to come up with, and you get a Democrat wave pushing back against Republicans. Even worse, you could get some of the GOP establishment on the Democrat side, and if you get enough people, then impeachment, no matter how ridiculous it is, becomes a real possibility. So I think what Trump is doing right now is he's looking at it and he's saying, I could fire this guy, but it would be such a pain in the ass. Better to let him continue going and let the investigation die a slow and painful death than to interfere with it or be seen as interfering with it in any way, shape, or form. There's an old saying, when your enemy is hanging himself, give him more rope. You don't take the rope away. And that's what Trump is doing. He's giving more rope to the Democrats and to Mueller. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where the people are just so sick of Russia that they're just going to tune it out. They're either not going to believe it or they're just going to completely ignore it. And that's going to be horrible for the Democrats because, as I talked about before, they have no winning strategy for 2018 or beyond. They have nobody in their wheelhouse that can actually win against Trump, and in 2020 they've got no reason for anybody to vote for them. So all they have is, the sexual assault thing and Russia. That's it. And if you take Russia away, all they have are sexual assaults. So then at that point, the only reason that you have to vote Democrat is just because Republicans make you feel icky because sexual assault. That's it. And that's not a winning strategy, ladies and gentlemen. So is Trump going to fire Bob Mueller? Maybe. I think once the outcry from Congress reaches a fever pitch, and once the approval rating for the investigation slips low enough, I think he probably will. But I think more than likely what will happen is Mueller will eventually give up and say, you know what? We tried. It probably happened, but there's just no evidence out there. And that, I think, is probably not necessarily the best case scenario for the Democrats, but a better case than letting the investigation continue on in perpetuity, which of course they would be willing to do. So there you go. I might be completely wrong on this again. What do you think? What do you think about the investigation? Am I right? Do you think Trump should fire Robert Mueller? Let me know in the comments section below. Kathy Griffin. You might remember her as the quote-unquote comedian whose claim to fame was getting drunk on New Year's Eve with Anderson Cooper and holding up a fake severed head of Donald Trump in what was supposed to be a hilariously funny bit. Of course, it wasn't. It was downright disgusting, and literally everybody turned on her. Even people on the left told her that she went too far. She saw numerous consequences. Her American tour was canceled. She was fired from CNN, and she saw numerous professional consequences for that. Well, she's back in the news today, ladies and gentlemen, and of course she's still blaming Trump for all of her woes. It's still his fault. She said it would have been gone in a week without his tweet, which no, honey, it wouldn't have been. You done fucked up, and everybody knew it. It doesn't matter that Donald Trump tweeted about it. This was going to happen with or without him. But the funny thing that she said, she said this in an interview, but she told Politico today that she can't perform in the U.S. anymore. And she said, quote, they were thrilled to have some. She was talking about her European tour, by the way. And she told Politico that, quote, they were thrilled to have someone come over and make fun of Trump. I wish I could tour in the U.S. without getting shot. I know I can't. I was in the middle of a 50-city tour when the tweet happened. It was canceled in 24 hours. Well, yeah, no shit, it was canceled within 24 hours because you became a toxic person literally overnight. No one in their right mind wants anything to do with you in this country. That's why you can't get work, lady. It's not because of anything Trump did. It's because of something that you did. Also, this bull crap about Trump supporters wanting to shoot you, there's not a Trump supporter alive that's going to waste a bullet on you, lady. You talk about having a high opinion of yourself. My God, I mean, ammunition's expensive. Ain't nobody on the Trump side that's gonna waste a bullet and try to take a shot at you. It's your career has failed in this country because of who you are, because of what you did, and because of your attitude about it. You're unrepentant. You took back your apology, and people don't like that. So it's no big shock that that nobody wants to hire you. But You know what, honey? You keep doing what you're doing. You keep bitching and moaning and complaining about Trump. Keep putting out your little weirdo YouTube videos, whatever the hell you're doing. If it makes you feel better, who am I to judge? Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. I really do appreciate you sticking with me for the last couple of minutes. Don't forget to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel, whether you're listening to me on YouTube, whether you're listening to me on BitChute. I can't upload to PewTube yet. Why? Because the file size on these podcasts is too big, so I'm going to figure out a way around that. Maybe I'll split the podcast up into 2 parts for you next time, so that way you can listen to it on PewTube. But thanks again for listening. Subscribe, it helps me out a lot. By the way, I'm also on Maker Support. It's the free speech version of Patreon. I've got the link to my page in the description below. So if you feel like it, kick a couple of bucks my way. I'll use that to pay for some new equipment. I'll use that to probably pay for a PewTube premium subscription, and also, money to use some of that money for alcohol to get drunk and drown my sorrows every night. So once again, guys, thanks so much for listening. I will see you all next time.